The story of Bobby Jindal's rise in popularity was recently covered by the Washington Post. People believe that Governor Jindal can be the rising superstar of the Republican Party that Barack Obama was for the Democratic Party this year. A good thing about the article is that they at least acknowledged that Bobby Jindal is a social conservative who will be fighting to attract the religious right wing of the Republican Party, and that he will be competing for votes with people like Sarah Palin and Mike Huckabee if he does decide to run in 2012. Jindal was recently in Iowa, and he tried to avoid the discussion about a potential 2012 bid for president by saying, "I'm running for a re-election to be governor of Louisiana in 2011. I am not running for any other office." Of course, you would have had to have followed Bobby Jindal's political career from soon after his 2003 gubernatorial loss to know that you should take that statement with a grain of salt. See, when running for Congress in 2004 and then for re-election in 2006, the topic of if Jindal would run for governor in 2007 was raised, and he would give similar responses to those questions as well. Jindal will never say that he intends to run for any election other than the next one that's in front of him. In 2006, he would only discuss the 2006 election, even though it was blatantly obvious that he was running for governor in 2006 for 2007 as well. The article does get some things wrong, however. It states that Jindal is his own invention in the mold of Barack Obama. The idea that Bobby Jindal and Barack Obama come from the same mold is just absurd. Anyone who looks at the policy supported by these two diametrically opposed politicians will clearly see that the mold created Jindal is far different than the one that created Barack Obama. The article gives praise for Jindal for running a surplus at the Department of Health while closing hospitals. Of course, if you watched my previous video on Jindal's healthcare record, you would understand the effect that closing hospitals and running up surpluses has on state healthcare systems. Even rabid right-winger Tony Perkins praises Jindal in the article for cutting health services in Tony Perkins' own district. Perkins says that Jindal did what he had to do. Well, if Jindal eliminated the deficit, then what exactly did he need to do? Why exactly did he need to close more hospitals? It makes no sense from a healthcare standpoint. Fortunately, the article does discuss the truth about Bobby Jindal's extremist right-wing stances. It confirms that Jindal is against embryonic stem cell research. It confirms that he is against abortions with 0 exceptions. And it confirms that he supports the teaching of intelligent design in schools, something that he referred to as the best science. What the article doesn't discuss is the topic of ethics, the one thing that people will be discussing on the national stage when discussing Bobby Jindal. However, I intend to fully get into the topic of ethics in Bobby Jindal in some upcoming videos. Just know that until then, Bobby Jindal will likely be praised publicly for his ethics reforms, but much of that praise will leave out some of the major flaws in the changes that took place in Louisiana when it comes to ethics, as well as some of the serious actions taken by Governor Jindal that to me are highly unethical. The article does say that Bobby Jindal is a political meteor. I sure hope so, because once meteors are noticed by people, they tend to either burn up in the atmosphere or come crashing down to Earth.